What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. So, this is a topic I've been talking about for the longest, and I'm gonna start doing more videos like this, maybe once a month, or maybe twice a month, depending on how I'm feeling, and see how the community takes it, and just get your take on things. As long as you're respectful about it and all that jazz, I'm all cool. Y'all having a friendly debate, then I can understand that. Now, when you get down to belittling folks, that's why we kind of cross the line. 'Cause it's not that deep. And today's topic, had to take a deep breath on that one, is remakes. So, and when I mean remakes, I mean like any game that's getting a remake. So, for instance, Diamond and Pearl just got announced today that it's being released on the 19th of November, 2021. And 2022, we're getting Legends Arceus on January 28th. Now, how do I feel about them? I like the art style. I do like the little chibi art style. They say it's a faithful remake, so it's gonna kind of look like it did on the DS, but that means we won't get no Gigantamax, and I'm kind of okay with that, and Mega Evolutions. I hope we get Mega Evolutions. I hope they do throw that in there. Like, yeah, the story's gonna stay the same, and certain aspects of the game's gonna get changed up, but they're gonna add some stuff in like Mega Evolutions, which I'm okay with. But if they don't, then I'm also okay with that too. And how people were taking it, like somebody said they bastardized the game, which I find kind of odd, because I'm like, it's really not that deep to where you have to sit there and say they bastardized the game, or, oh, you killed my favorite generation, this looks like crap, da 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 da. And it's coming from a lot of people who haven't done any gaming developing in their whole entire lives. So they feel like they have the need or the the wants to say that, oh, I can say this because I've been playing Pokemon for years and da 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 da, which nobody really gives a shit, honestly. Nobody cares. But how I see remakes, and not just Pokemon, but also like remakes for like certain games, like for instance, Resident Evil remakes, not the first two, but Resident Evil 1, 2, 3. I heard there's a fourth one coming out. Revelations is getting all these remakes and stuff. And my first thing that comes to my mind, Mortal Kombat got a reboot remake with, Mortal Kombat 2011 and all that jazz. And the reason how I feel about remakes is it's actually pretty cool to see this. And the reason why I say it's pretty cool to see this, because the generation that is now gets to enjoy the games that the past generation got to enjoy, but just with better graphics. Like Final Fantasy VII. I'm not a real big fan of Final Fantasy VII. I think it is kind of overrated and overhyped, but at the same time, I understand why people love it so much. And the fact that we finally got it updated and the first part came out was amazing. Now, is Square Enix trying to milk the fuck out of this franchise? Well, Final Fantasy VII, yes. Final Fantasy IV will always be my favorite. And they also got a remake too, which was like years ago on the DS. And I still play it to this day. I have it on my phone. But, man, I get long-winded with these. But what I'm getting at is the new generation gets to enjoy games that the past generation got to enjoy. So, say like, for instance, if you're a mother or father who used to play video games religiously back in the day, and you've seen a game like, for instance, I'll go with Final Fantasy VII again, or Diamond and Pearl. You see a trailer of Diamond and Pearl getting a remake, you'd be all like, oh, that's cool. They're really remaking this game. And you get to see how it looks. It's like, to me, compared to the graphics I had back in the day, this shit is blowing shit out the water. So I'd be happy to see that. Then I get to see my nieces and nephews play the game. So for instance, I got a story that y'all probably might understand once I tell it. And so one day I was playing Crash Bandicoot's trilogy on the PS4. And I had my nieces and nephews in the room, and they were playing with me too. And watching them spaz out because they keep dying because it's so damn hard, they were all like, Uncle Dominic, was this like this back in the day? I was like, a little bit harder. I mean, I spazzed out. I'm pretty sure we broke a couple controllers playing this, but that's just Crash Bandicoot. Same thing with Spyro. When it got the trilogy for them, and lo and behold, they actually enjoyed it. So they were like, watching the new generation play games that we played back in the day and that we enjoyed, it's really cool to see. It's like, it's refreshing. It shows that that gaming is still alive. It shows that the newer generation can, enjoy what the past generation loved, just with better specs and graphics and probably a little added stuff to the story here and there and whatnot. Now, there's some games I feel like we really don't need a remake for that at the moment. Like Last of Us Part 1 doesn't need a remake. I don't even think that game's like 10 years old. Like, so them making a remake for that, it's a little bit much, especially with the second one just recently coming out. Like, it made zero sense to do that. But they felt the need that they kind of had to do that. Now, there are certain games I do want to see be remade. Like, I always get on the head of Capcom because I'm like, Capcom has so many titles, but they keep going back to Street Fighter, Resident Evil, and Monster Hunter. Ain't nothing wrong with that, but at the end of the day, y'all have other games y'all can make. Like, I would love to see a Darkstalkers remake or reboot or whatever. Same thing with Sega. Sega always going back to Sonic like they ain't got nothing else. But Jet Set Radio Future is my favorite video game of all time. It's my number one. So I would love to see them remake that, or reboot it. But I guess, quote unquote, they don't get enough, fans to cry about it. So if we cry about it, maybe we can do that. Even though it's bullshit, because I know a lot of people have been asking for a Jet Set Radio game that for so many years. But yeah, we haven't got that yet. So when it comes down to remakes, me personally, I don't get upset. Because I'm like, at the end of the day, I do want my kids to end up playing the games I played when I was growing up, just with better graphics. Now, does it show that they kind of run out of ideas? Yeah, it does. It does. It does show that some developers can't come up with nothing good, so they decide, hey, let's go back to the well and let's keep milking this son of a bitch until we can't milk it no more. Which is kind of lazy. That is lazy writing. And I do agree with some people who say stuff like that, but the pros and cons of this is always going to be there. It's always going to be, there's always going to be somebody going to sit there and say, pointing at it and be like, hey, no, and all that jazz. So what do you guys think? This is where I give it back to you guys and you ask. Well, I won't ask, but I ask, how do you guys feel about remakes? Do you think they're necessary? Do you think the new generation should play these games to see how games were back in the day? Or should they just go find the original copy and the original console that it came out on and play it from there? But other than that, guys, I love y'all. Hope y'all being safe. Peace.